Good morning. Is the slide visible? Is the slide visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yesterday we learned the 8-point uh, DFT using the FFT algorithm. So today also we will do practice of that, but with less number so that it will not take much time. Instead of going for 8-point DFT, we will go for a 4-point DFT and some new properties, not new, it was there for the previous DFTs also. The same property will be carried forward for this also. So let us see the response of the linear time invariant discrete time system using the DFT. The response of the system using DFT. The response of the system if the input as well as the impulse response of the system is given to you. This you have learned earlier in the first chapter itself, that if the input and the impulse response of the system, impulse response means if I give an impulse input to the system, then the response of the system is known as impulse response. So such a impulse response of the system is noted and given as a reference. So if I am giving an input and if the impulse response of the system is known to you, then how I can find the response of the system for any input? It is given by x of n convolutes h of n. So this convolution symbol denotes the linear convolution. Okay, so response is given by the linear convolution of input and the impulse response of the system. This already you have learned. So we have to take up this property and see how in the DFT how the convolution property is applicable. In DFT, it supports only the circular convolution. Okay, in DFT, it supports only circular convolution. We have learned circular as well as linear convolution also. But DFT supports only circular convolution. So linear convolution has to be computed through the circular convolution. How it is done? Suppose if x of n, which is the input to the system, is having n1 point sequence, that is the number of sequence in x of n is n1, and the impulse response of the system contains n2 point sequence. So this is the length of the input and the impulse response. So if n1 and n2 are the length of x of n and h of n, then by linear convolution of x of n and h of n will generate y of n with a size n1 plus n2 minus 1. This property also we have learned earlier. The length of y of n will be equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1. So by linear convolution, the output will be having a length of n1 plus n2 minus 1. Now, while we are applying or while we are trying to find out circular convolution through linear convolution, then what we have to do? We have to convert the length of the sequence x of n and h of n should be converted to the same length as that of y of n, which we are obtaining in the linear convolution. How we will obtain the length of y of n? Length of y of n will be equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1. So the same length should be there for x of n and h of n if I am performing the circular, if I am performing the linear convolution via circular convolution. So we have to transform your x of n and h of n into the length n1 plus n2 minus n if I want to perform the circular convolution in the DFT. So by definition, the circular convolution theorem, this is one of the property of DFT. By this property of circular convolution in DFT, it is defined as DFT of x of n circular convolutes with h of n will be equal to x of k into h of k. Okay, so this linear convolution as well as circular convolution, what happens in both case, convolution will transform into product, isn't it? There also it has transformed into product of terms. So here also the operation is same, only difference is that the method by which we obtain, here it should be like the by circular convolution, the length of the sequence has to be equal to the length of y of n. If I take the inverse DFT of the above equation, inverse DFT, that is if I want to obtain back your response, finally your aim is to obtain the response of the system. So if I take the inverse of x of k and h of k, I will obtain x of n circular convolutes h of n, which is nothing but y of n. Okay, so what I tried to obtain here, it is obtaining the response of the system using DFT. Okay, if x of n and h of n are given to you. Okay, but in DFT we cannot perform the linear convolution, we have to perform the circular convolution. So what are the prerequisites you have to do the circular convolution? We have to make the length of x of n and h of n equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1. After that you perform the theorem, that is, what is the theorem? DFT of x of n circular convolutes h of n will be equal to x of k into h of k. That means you can find out x of k and h of k. Before that, before finding x of k and h of k, you need to make the length of x of n and h of n equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1. After getting x of k and h of k, I can obtain the response of the system by taking the inverse of that. DFT inverse will give you the response of the system y of n. Okay, so let us apply this property and let us take the practice of that FFT butterfly diagram, that algorithm. We will practice it with 4 points. But we are applying this property of the DFT, that is circular convolution will transform into product of the DFT. That is circular convolution of x of n and h of n will be equal to the x of k into h of k. So let us take a question. In an, even if you don't understood there while we do this numerical, you can understand it better. Those who have not understood what is told in the theory part, let us do the numerical, then things will be clear to you. So given to you a linear time invariant system with input x of n equal to 111 and the impulse response -1, minus 1. Determine the response of the system by radix to DIT FFT method. Okay, so we have to obtain the response using the DFT method. Okay, so we know that circular convolution of x of n and h of n will give you circular convolution of h of n and x of n will give you the product of the DFT x of k and h of k. So before that, to perform the circular convolution using DFT, we need to make the length of x of n and h of n equal to y of n. So let us find out what is the length of the sequence. Let me ask question, otherwise I don't know whether you are listening or not. So you have to tell me what is the length of the sequence. Pratik, Pratik, Bhole Pratik, Bhavesh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Pratik, na? Yes. Yes, Pratik, can you
Yes,
tell me what is the length of the input sequence x of n? What is the length of the input sequence x of n? What is the,
111.
sorry,
111.
that is the sequence given 1 comma 1 comma 1. These are the three elements. I am asking what is the length. How many number of elements are there in x of n?
3.
Sorry,
3.
3. So that
3.
means n,
3.
yes, 3. That is, let us take it as n1. Length of x of n as n1. So n1 will be equal to 3. Can you tell me then what is the length of h of n? Impulse response h of n. What is the length?
2.
2. That let us take it as n2. n2 is equal to 2. Now, as per our steps what we have seen, to perform circular convolution, we have to make the length of x of n and h of n equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1. Can you tell me now what is n1 plus n2 minus 1? n1 is
4.
how much? 3.
And
n2 is
N1 is 3 and 2 is 2.
uh,
Then 3 plus 2 minus 1, that is 4.
equal to 4. That means we have to make, before performing the circular convolution using DFT, we have to make the length of x of n and h of n equal to 4. How you can increase the length? By appending zeros. So the response y of n is obtained by circular convolution. So what I can do? I can increase the length by appending zeros. That means I can add zeros at the end. Okay. So I will make, that is the length of x of n equal to 3, the length of h of n equal to 2, then y of n, that is length of y of n, which is equal to 4. So I need to make now the increase the length of x of n and h of n by appending zeros. That means I will add zeros at the end. That means now x of n will change to 111 comma 0. You need to insert only 1 0 to make it 4. Whereas h of n, we need to insert 2 zeros at the end to make it 4. So I hope now all of you understood. To perform this convolution property in DFT, I need to make the length of x of n and h of n equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1. So in this case it is 4. n1 plus n2 minus 1 is 4. So I need to increase the length of x of n by adding 1 0, since the length is 3, and second case h of n, I have to add 2 zeros since the length is 2. So now the x of n and h of n both became, the length has become now 4. Okay. So by the property of circular convolution of DFT, DFT of x of n circular convolutes h of n is equal to x of k into h of k, which is y of k. So how you can find out x of k and h of k? So first step is determine x of k using radix to DIT, DFT, FFT method. That means we need to get the multiplication of x of k and h of k. So how you can obtain x of k? From x of n. So x of n is a, we have appended zeros and made it as 4-point sequence. So we can apply the 4-point DFT to x of n to obtain x of k. So we learned the FFT algorithm. Now it is 4-point. So let us first write the sequence in the normal order. That is, since it is only 4 elements, how many stages will be there here? by radix to FFT method, if I go, how many stages will be there?
2.
2 stages only, because the total n is, the length is 4 only. So 4 can be written as 2 square. That means here square means that is the power of the 2. That means how many it is? 2 only. So there are only 2 stages. Whereas in the last class we have solved for the length was 8. So 8 was written as 2 cube. So that means 3 stages were there in the last numerical. Here only 2 stages will be there. So when I write the position, I have to represent the position in digital in with the help of 2 bits only. No need to represent with 3 bits. Since 2 stages, so you need to represent the position with 2 bits. So first I wrote the elements x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3. This is your element x of n. I made it 4 element sequence by appending zeros at the end. Otherwise it was only 111, but I added a 0 at the end to make it a 4-point sequence. So the sequences position are x of 0, 1, x of 1, 1, x of 2, 1, and x of 3, 0. So these are the positions of those 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. Now we have to write them in the reverse bit order. We have to inverse the position of the bits. Don't take the complement of 1 and zeros. Don't do that. Maybe in this case, okay, none of the case it will applicable. So just reverse the position of the bits. Don't do complement of zeros and 1. So when I write x of n in the bit reverse order, the first one there will be no change. It will be as it is. Now second one 0, 1 will change to 1, 0, that is x of 2. So x of 2 also same thing, 1 only. So even if I write it in the reverse bit order, so the position, even though it is changing, but the elements order will be elements will be same as your original. 110 is the elements we obtained after reversing. Your original x of n is also 110, 110 only. Now we have to take this reversed order bit as the input to the first stage. So in the first stage, the bit reversed x of n is taken, and the phase factor coming in the first stage is w2 raised to 0, okay, which is equal to 1. So inputting 110 into the first stage, we have to take the butterfly with 2 inputs. We require only 2 sets of 2 input butterfly diagram. So in this I will input 111, and I need to calculate the output. So Bhavesh, can you tell me what will be the first output? Bhavesh. Bhavesh. Vedant.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can you tell me the first output here?
1 plus 1, 2, ma'am.
Here it will be 1 will be coming here, and 1 from this path will be coming here. So 1 plus 1, it should be 2. So 1 plus 1 equal to. Can you tell me the second one?
It will be 0.
So 1 is coming here, but here this 1 will be multiplied with this minus 1 will be coming here. So 1 minus 1, it has to be 0. Okay. Similarly, for the next, it will be, can you complete it?
It will be 1.
1. 1 minus 1 plus 0 equal to 1. The other one is 1 minus 0 equal to 1 only. So these are the output of the first stage. The sequence obtained after the first stage is 2011. 2011 is the output of first stage of computation. This will go into the second stage as the input. So input to the second stage of computation will be 2011. Now the phase factors coming into picture will be W4 raised to 0 and W4 raised to 1, which is 1 and minus j. Let us insert 2011 as the input to this. Then the phase vectors also will come into picture. Now the first one you will be obtaining is 2 plus 1 equal to 3. Now let me ask anyone. Yashwant Patil.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me the second output here? How you will calculate the second output? This you consider this point as a summation point. Whatever there are two inputs at this terminal, those two inputs has to be summed to get the output. So what is the input coming from this path? What is the input coming from this path? What is the input you are giving here? What is the input giving?
0, ma'am.
0. So this is like a flow graph you have studied in the networks. So in nothing mentioned over the line over here. So consider the multiplication factor in the line is 1 only. So 0
1.
into 1 will
Yes.
give you
0.
0. So the first input coming here it is 0. Now that is the first terminal. Now you have to take what is the input coming from the second terminal. So from here, this is the path you have to track. So can you tell me what is the input coming from this path? There is a 1. 1 is the input provided here. This has to be multiplied with. This has to be multiplied with. First with W4 raised to 1. What is W4 raised to 1 which we calculated and kept?
Minus j.
Minus j. So 1 into minus j. So minus j will come here. That will
Yes.
nothing here mentioned. So minus j will come here. So it will be here
0 minus j.
j. So your second output is minus j. Can you tell now for the third, Yashwant? Yashwant, can you now calculate for the third?
Ma'am, 1,
First input is
2.
2. Okay. Second input?
W4. W4.
4 raised to 0.
Yes.
So what is that?
2 minus 1 will be the output.
So 1 is coming, 1 is there here, that will be multiplied with W4 raised to 0, which is 1 only. So 1 into 1, but there is a minus 1 here.
Minus 1 also there is.
So this will be minus 1.
2 minus 1.
Okay, so it is 2 minus 1, 1. Can you tell the last now?
It will be
First input
0,
is,
0.
Input is 0. Now second input.
1 into minus j.
Then one more minus is there here.
So 0 plus j it will become.
It will be 0 plus minus
J.
of minus, it will be j.
J.
So your output of the first stage is 3 minus j, 1 j. 3 minus j, 1 j.
1 j.
This is the output of the second stage of computation, which will directly give you the DFT of x of n, which is x of k. Now the same way you have to calculate for h of k. You have to find for x of k, h of k, then you need to multiply those two. Okay, so let us take now to determine h of k using radix to DITFFT method. So DFT of x of n is h of k. So h of n, again it is a 4-point sequence. So you need to compute by the 4-point DFT-FFT method. The same procedure, let us take the h n sequence in the same order, which is minus 1 is the actual element, by we added 2 zeros at the end, 0 0, to make it a 4-point. Now if I write it in the reverse bit, so I'll be getting the sequence as minus 1 0 minus 1 0. Okay. This will come as the input to the first stage. The phase factor again, here also it is 1 only. So by inserting -1, 0, -1, 0 at the input of this butterfly diagram, let us calculate the output of this stage. So the output of the stage will come out to be -1, -1. All the things will be -1 only. So the first stage output is all elements are -1. This will again come as the input to the second stage. Okay, now the phase vectors will change. It will be W4 raised to 0 and W4 raised to 1. So that is 1 and -j. So let us give the input here with all -1 and calculate the output. So the output calculated are -2, -1 plus j, 0 and -1 minus j. Output of second stage of computation is h of k. What we obtain here, it is h of k, which is -2, -1 plus j, 0, -1 minus j. So you obtained x of k and h of k. Now we know that the circular convolution is multiplication of x of k and h of k. So you need to determine now the product of x of k and h of, sorry, not y of k, it is h of k. So you need to determine the product of x of k and h of k. Okay, so let the product h of k into x of k, which will give you y of k for values of k equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. That means you need to get the product for values of k from 0 to 3. So let us take first case. When k is equal to 0, y of 0 will be equal to x of 0 into h of 0, which is equal to 3 into -2. That means you need to take these terms, that is h of k. Let us take it here, then only it will be clear. And you need to take x of k also. Okay, so h of k and x of k you have already found out and kept. So for each value of k equal to 0, you need to take x of 0 and h of 0, which is -2 and 3. So the product of them, it is -6. When k is equal to 1, x of 1 into h of 1, that is -1 plus j into -j, which is 1 plus j. When k equal to 2, it is 0 into, so it is 0 only. When k equal to 3, j into -1 minus j. So it is 1 minus j. So what you obtain here, it is the output y of k, which is the sequence -6, 1 plus j, 0, 1 minus j. Okay, so the DFT of circular convolution of x of n and h of n will be equal to x of k multiply with h of k. Now here our step is not ending. What is the question? Question is to find out the impulse response of the system. So what we obtained here, we obtained y of k.
Hello, ma'am. Attendance link is posted, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so come back. So we calculated y of k, but our question is to obtain the response of the system. So from y of k, we need to find out y of n. How you can obtain y of n from y of k? By applying the inverse DFT. So the inverse DFT, using how we can do the inverse DFT using the FFT method. So let us assume x of n and x of k be the endpoint DFT pair. That means if I apply DFT to x of n, I will obtain x of k. So I need to now get x of n from x of k in the reverse order. So what is the formula by definition of inverse DFT? The formula is 1 upon n summation k equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k e raised to j 2 pi nk by n. So this is the inverse DFT formula we learned earlier. Now we need to apply through FFT algorithm how I can apply this inverse formula. So what I will do, our FFT algorithm is mainly based on the Twiddle factor. Now we have to write this e raised to j 2 pi nk by n as in terms of the Twiddle factor. So I can write here that if I do the conjugate of this term, I will obtain my original term j2 pi nk by n. If I do conjugate of minus j2 pi nk by n, if I make the conjugate of that, I will obtain j2 pi nk by n. So that means here I can write it as e raised to w nk by n, nk n conjugate of that. So that is, you need to find out the x of k. Just 1 minute. Okay, so it is the conjugate of the Twiddle factors you need to take into consideration. And you have to, so far we have taken w2 raised to 0 and w4 raised to 1. So that w2 raised to 0 doesn't matter if I take the conjugate, but w4 raised to 1, the conjugate I need to take and use it in the inverse FFT method. And the entire sequence has to be divided by n. So step 4, determining the y of n using inverse DFT. So for point DFT can be computed, inverse DFT can be computed using this radix 2 DIT FFT by taking conjugate of the phase factor and then dividing the sequence by 4. Okay, you need to take the conjugate of the phase factors and last the sequence has to be divided by 4. So what is your input here? Which is y of k, which is minus 6, 1 plus j 0, 1 minus j. Now we have to arrange, the same procedure is same. We have to arrange y of k in the normal order, then we have to write it in the bit reverse. So when I reverse the bit, it will become minus 6, 0, 1 plus j, then 1 minus j. Now first stage, this will go into the first stage of computation. The phase factor involved, here it is. So here this will be actually the conjugate of this. But for the first case it doesn't matter. So the conjugate will not matter here. So it is 1 only. Now coming to the second stage, sorry, first stage, the input here it is minus 6, 0, 1 plus j and 1 minus j, which is coming as the input, and these are the outputs we are obtaining in the first stage, that is minus 6 to 2j. So the phase factor involved here it is W2 raised to 0, which is 1. Now coming to the second stage, we have to calculate the phase factor here, that is W4 raised to 0, which is the conjugate of this, which is equal to 1, and the conjugate of this will give you plus j. So second stage, your output will be now minus 4, minus 8, and minus 4. So this is the sequence you are obtaining in the second stage. Now finally, after obtaining the sequence, we need to divide by the n. So what is the length n here? It is 4. So divide the sequence by 4 to obtain the response y of n, which is minus 1, minus 2, minus 1. So these many steps are involved in this. So what we did first so there are 4 steps involved in this question. That is, your question was to find out the response yn of the system by Radix to DIT FFT method. So given is your input x of n and h of n. So you can do the circular convolution by DFT method. So the circular convolution of x of n and h of n is equal to x of k into y of k. So before that, we need to make the length of x of n and h of n equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1. So the length you have made equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1, which is 4. After that, we applied the DFT to obtain x of k and h of k. So we obtained x of k by FFT method, and we obtained h of k again by FFT method. Then finally we multiplied those two by for each term. We multiplied each term, that is for 0th position, 1, 2 and 3, like that. Each position we multiplied the elements and we obtained y of k. But your in the question is to find the response. So response is inverse of y of k, which is y of n. So to apply the inverse DFT, we have to apply the formula 1 upon n summation k equal to 0 and minus 1 x of k e raised to w n of nk conjugate. So taking y of k as input, again using the Radix to DIT FFT method, I calculated the sequence, but here the twiddle factor involved, it is the conjugate. Now after that, the end sequence has to be divided by the length, which is 4, to obtain the response y of n. Okay. So I'll give you a question, you can do it.